People in diaspora, we don't understand. Don't close your mic. We'll give you opportunity to engage in the advocate. And people on the diaspora, we don't understand. I would say we don't understand. I don't know if it's ignorance, but I'll put it in this way: we don't understand what is happening on the ground, right, advocate?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
we take them for granted.
I think we do understand it, but I think we are very simplistic, probably when it comes to the solutions of how to address Zimbabwe. Because sometimes people in Emma Street, but the dangers now of getting into that street, what would I mom street mom? You can just be picked up and say, oh, go up doctor, and then they are gone, and there are no structures around you and support them because one probably the movement iri kuita those demonstrations haitori nawo futi structures ekuunderstanda kuti who's who mudemonstration macho and how can we help our people, and they also don't have resources unlike kudara. If you talk about 2008, even 2018, civil society, they were well funded, and some organizations were well funded to assist nyaya dzakadaro. So I think I wouldn't say I understand. We know the problems, we know what's happening, but I think we somehow kind of like are simplistic when it comes to the solutions on how to address some of these things affecting our colleagues in Zimbabwe.
Thank you, my leader. There, I know. Do you want to if do you want to engage advocate Kenneth?
No,
Then we go
I
to
certainly concur, but I even think, advocate, we need to, in terms of creating the economy, we need to mirror that economy here and at home as well. For the active membership to stand with us, they have to have something to protect other than a party or a leader. They have to have something. If it's about their goats, their cattle, guys, I don't know, maybe you guys may have grown up differently, but I know when I grew up, every home, if they didn't have a weapon of their own, they would create one. Every homestead had a tool that was used as a weapon. I think over the period of time, people have come to relax. But in areas where ZANU-PF has hooligans that break into homes at night, burn villages, and so on and so forth, they will have their tools. But let them have tools to protect functioning uh, projects. Maybe it's rearing cattle, rearing goats, rearing chicken, and because the membership is running their project, it becomes a zone that ZANU-PF cannot just do what they want with people. The thing is, we don't have those points of interaction where we say there is an existing relationship between us as a party and them as a community. So they become vulnerable to ZANU-PF. It gives them a ball, it gives them a garden. And ZANU-PF never started like that. They took these ideas from us here. That's why they prosecute everyone who intends to invest in Zimbabwe. If you are not a ZANU-PF person, therefore you cannot get that license. Difficult as it may be, but we need to break through into that so that our membership does not entirely depend on what's happening in diaspora, but even on the ground, they can stand and say, how different are you from Ian Smith, who was probably reducing the number of my cattle, the head of cattle, the head of goats, the number of dogs, the number of cats in every home. Even when you call people to demonstrations, there's every good reason for them to find some economy to protect. Not a name, not a party, not an individual. They'll say he's living pretty. Why should I go there? I think Meads made a presentation on that, so I wouldn't be able to go back to it. Thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, advocate. Do you have something to say from what Anodiwa says? Then we go to Dobbs. Any comment or rebut?
Yeah, yeah, I do agree on that aspect, yeah, yeah, security and all that stuff. But I also think uh, it's one piece of the puzzle, and that in itself can also be an area which can be improved. And whoever are involved in especially with the people, working with the people, activism, advocacy, they also have to, perfect their own tools as well on how to make sure that the people you're interacting with are also, secure and they feel secure, doing the advocacy or even demonstrating. I can give you an example. For me, my tool is the legal tool. Ndakatsetao pace yangu on getting people to speak out against injustice and to also defend their constitutional rights in the various spaces. I can give you a case. Yenekamboita kumagunjo. I once represented a guy akasungwa nemapurisa. I end up they were actually distributing my fertilizer in H-bag kumagunje baba town square bebe. And they went there, they were saying their community and all that stuff. So he went there, akatanga kuzipa machild chibage, and iye akatanga kuskipwa manje because he was in the village yangeri so akatanga kuskipwa. And what did he do was he knew about me, in fact the organization angopinda murori abva angotora 50 kgs yechild yechibage abva atotanga kurova pasi. Then abva atosungwa. Then he was said kuti mapurisa abva akongokota like a case he wanted to steal Chibage and all that stuff, and it was a big docket, and no one wanted to go to Magunje to represent him because Magunje at that time made pizza. But I went there, and when I got there, people were I secured his bail. We went to trial, and when we got into court, my issue was yekutaka akatora Chibage yakatoziya kokupesira, but my issue yange yari dissect the system yacho chipage chacho chachabva kupi ai distribute ndiani munhu wezanu pf here bozi koti yakazara team rezanu pf. But I mean, like, eventually we won the case. Winner on the technicality, on my inconsistencies, my witnesses, and so forth. But that case here went a very long way, Magunje. Because Magunje, apana munu, angambo challenge ZANU PF that way. Kuti akasungwa, akabatwa ne team rezanu PF, apasungwa ne mapusi ezanu PF, then abaenda ku court, akabuda D. Here is the D. So that guy became a figure in that area. And today, I think Casio is, but I mean, like, those were some of the tools that we did or used when it came to my issues in advocacy. It was not just to represent a court, just both Asungi Rakuba. It was not that. It was to interrogate the system. ZANU PF district Chibage. Oh, so ZANU PF India, is it the government? So munukana ari pa list here, kana government ya chita power Chibage, munakatura Chibage chake kube. So those were some of the things that, but I mean, like, that was the tool that I was using, and I respect Mkomo Wangu on what you are saying about even my rural areas. Everyone had their own kind of support here with defender, and so, which is very good, which can also be an area of advocacy. But I believe that Munuwese, who's interested in advocacy and in changing the system in Zimbabwe, should also be endeavoring to, to come up with solutions, individual solutions in their areas. Yokuti vanhu at least ka area kanenge kachikomanda ikako feel secure kana pakaitwa call yaitwa sanhasi for a demonstration because people vanongaziva kuti yeah, zvinoshanda and zvashanda. This is how we then move forward from there.
Yeah, thank you, my leader. There, Dobbs, do you want to have do you want to engage with the advocate or?
Yeah, a bit. So, advocate, the problem, Amaka experience and I have a question. It's not only that the people who are becoming victims, it's not only the opposition like before. Now, even the police are the victims. Because unenge muchitovabvunza kuti muri kuroverei vanhu imi musiri kuwana mari, vanokutaurira kuti tee takaiswa pamakamera, and it becomes an issue kuti tikasada kuparticipate. And vanotaura kuti vari kuspayana zvimwe zvisingaiti. And the one that last thing chavanga vachititaurira vanga vachiti ivo izvoni ivo police act is being amended. So if it get amended, that police tribunal is final. They won't have that appeal system. So they think that the job security is going now. At the same time, vanga vachitaura kuti kune shortage isingaite and the working condition are very terrible. Is one other thing. And then it seems everything is not binding because other people from what is that area, Mufure, the other area, what do we call Mondoro? They were complaining about land to say even the Kagubi gravesite is going to be destroyed, and Mashamombe gravesite is going to be destroyed as well. But those are under National Museum and monuments. But they said no. Even the courts, they are not willing to deal with those monuments to say, why are you destroying them? So they can only appeal to Mnangagwa and Mrs. So it's now a bit complicated to build a system. So what they were just saying is for police, they were just saying it's better for you to fight for us. It's now put the police, that one which are harassing us, to say it's better for you to fight for us so that that bill won't go through. And this is also going to the municipal police. They said they are going to have their local courts where offenders are going to be fined A, B, C, D. So you'd find out to say it will be difficult for a vendor to get an advocate to say, can you represent me because they've taken my tomatoes, and those tomatoes may be worth maybe a net profit of 5 or 10 per day. And it becomes very difficult for them if they get abused. They are all saying it's better for you to fight so that those courts won't see a day. So what is required maybe is just mobilization and mobilization to mobilize those people to say, nobody will fight for you unless you are also involved one way or the other, which is very difficult considering that there are no resources to mobilize. And that structure of opposition is not there in structure because there are several things which have happened within our country. A good example, like it's where Shava and Edgar Lunga, those are the minister, one for higher education, the other for, I can't remember, he was in manpower during that time. They've stolen money and the High Court have ordered them to return the money. It's there in court order, but every opposition leader is quiet about it. To say if somebody have taken money and get a court order to return it, nobody is crying to say those ministers must go within the leaders. They wait for somebody, they become docile. When it comes to checks and balances, they just go general like everybody. So it's very difficult now to build a proper structure which can shake Mnangagwa. It's not there yet. Thanks a lot. You may respond to those issues.